Now my mic is on. Hey, yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the All-Pro JAFFos. Back after a little bit of a hiatus there. Hope everybody had a fun and loving Thanksgiving with all their relatives and loved ones. Um, Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is November 28th, 2023, and this show is helped brought to you by our friends over at Groundbreaking Enterprises. Uh, Need a no obligation offer and a free consultation on wanting to sell your home. Call 510-646-7891 for that no obligation offer. Now, um, I am your host, JP.
Hey, yo.
And with me, there's some going on with this. And with me, as always, 610 V's from the Southeast, Mr. Country K.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
There we go. Now it's working. All right. And we're going to jump right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a little bit of NBA talk. So, a few things have been happening in the NBA that we wanted to actually kind of touch up on today. One of them being um, the NBA.
What's up? What? So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Is wonder if he's coming back. Yeah, what you doing? Oh,
God damn it. I fucking hate it when people call me while I'm doing the show.
cool. There you go.
Always cuts everything off. So yeah, getting into the NBA, I guess the cardinal rules from fighting. Not too long ago, we just saw Draymond Green once again getting suspended for essentially choking out Rudy Gobert.
No, hold on. I
I
gotta
was gonna
stop
get
you.
more into what
All right,
happened
go ahead.
on
All right,
why.
go ahead. Cause that's bull. That's bull.
But basically choking out
But
Rudy Gobert and stuff, getting him off of Klay
uh,
Thompson with his forgot who it was that he was pushing around with and stuff like that. But Draymond got suspended, obviously for being a little excessive in it.
it's a 10. I
But
got a 15 here.
now
There you go.
it brings up,
Thank
they say
you.
that the cardinal rule, and it was brought
Same.
up in a couple of shows and stuff like that. Well, and I
All
think
right,
I know
now.
where Kay was going to go with this. Of had Rudy Gobert not put his hands on Klay Thompson, may not have had that situation to begin with. And so it's like one of those that cardinal rule of handle your own players. Rudy should have gone over and grabbed whoever it was that Klay was tussling with instead of grabbing him. Therefore, Draymond came in and grabbed Rudy, and once again Draymond getting suspended for that. Um, but
All right, I had to leave. I had to leave the club. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So, yeah, because I wasn't trying to do all that inside. I mean, even though they're pretty cool about it, but I wasn't trying to do all that inside. So Mastic said he overslept. Just
Yeah, I
came in
also had
right
to
now.
work an overnight too.
Yeah. But but no, that boy straight up choke play. He straight up choke play. Like I've been telling motherfuckers left and right, I don't even like Draymond Green. You got me fucking defending him. Like that's the shit that's the worst. You got me defending somebody I don't even fucking like. And that's the worst part about the whole shit. It wasn't the fact that he touched him. He had a whole arm around him. Matter of fact, let me for the people that's not aware,
At least the visual of what it looked like before Draymond got to him.
I have the picture, but I can't do the background on this phone. Normally I'd be on the computer with the different backgrounds and shit like that. But today I'm in had to fucking make a couple stops, guys. So that's
Okay.
the situation. But supposed to do. Any player that's not Draymond Green probably wouldn't have got suspended because they would have actually looked at the footage. The fact that it was Draymond Green involved in the situation, it was like, oh yeah, no, they didn't even want to look at the shit. Even though that Draymond Green was in the full right, and every single fucking person would have did the same thing. Like he didn't do shit wrong. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like how you gonna suspend him? And then Rudy started crying. Like, how you bitching and complaining that you gotta pay a fine? You know you had your arm around this motherfucker. Like, you ain't gonna make me believe, like, first off, you ain't gonna make me believe. It's all these other Frenchmen that don't played in the league before your ass. Mikael Petras, I loved Mikael Petras in Orlando. You ain't never seen Mikael Petras do some dumbass shit like that. Never. So I'm not going for it because he's French or whatever. All these excuses people give him. No, Rudy did that shit because Rudy is who Rudy is. He's just as clumsy and dirty as everybody else y'all try to give him that label. And he choked Clay. Simple and plain. He choked Clay and he deserved what he got.
In real time, at least to me, how it was, it looked like he was trying to, just kind of pull him off. It just happened how his arm kind of came around Clay. It looked like basically Draymond, or basically he was doing to Clay what Draymond ended up doing to Rudy, right afterwards. But it's a whole situation. I mean, first of all, NBA fights, they're not really fights. They're kind of just shoving contests. Who can push who the farthest and everything else like that kind of shit.
I just sent you the still right now. Rudy's arm is completely around Clay's neck.
That's what I'm saying. It's around him. So it's kind of like, but then it goes back to, they can, make the comparisons, they can make the defenses and stuff all they want. The fact of the matter is Rudy should have never put his hands on Clay. That was the whole thing. You handle your own teammates, push it apart, get it apart and everything else like that, and that's fine. But I mean, again, all of these, they're not really fights, they're shoving contests because I don't really think NBA players are really about that, especially during the game and stuff like that. Unless somebody like Steven Jackson or something like that, Rumble in the Palace or Malice in the Palace or anything else like that. That's one thing. But most of these NBA players, it's just all
I'm gonna tell you right now.
talk push.
I got one guy I know for certain that's really about that, and he is doing a very good job keeping calm amongst everything. DeMar DeRozan really about that shit. You don't really hear much about him, and that's really the issue. Like, DeMar DeRozan really about that shit, bro. Like, y'all gotta, hey, look, it's a bunch of players in the NBA that's really about that shit. Another guy I think really about that shit, Russell Westbrook. I think if y'all try Russell, or like if they did something like to his family, not him. I think Russell good with him. It's more of like if they fucked with his wife or his kid, like how Chris Paul and fucking Scott Foster's having that quarrel because of Chris Paul's son, which makes sense. I would be going at that rep too. Fuck you, dude. You get what I'm saying? Every time I fucking see you, you just cussed at my fucking kid. You're a grown fucking man. Talking to my kid like he's fucking 30. Like, are you serious? He's like 8. What's your issue? Like, but yeah, that's the like, yeah, I think Russell would go off of the edge if like you fucked with his family. I don't think it'll be him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But like game situation, like if there's something going down, during the game or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if it was a situation, like, all right, so do you remember the situation? It was probably like a year or two ago with Russell Westbrook. My example, in Utah, when the Utah fans was calling him the N-word, they was doing all that extra shit in the fucking crowd, and it was like, what they were like, he's like, what the fuck? Like they were really disrespecting this man as a human. Fuck him being a player. They were just disrespecting him as a human. And I don't think Russell, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he really didn't lose his cool. Like, he kept it together and shit like that. But what if they would have got at his family like how they did fucking like LeBron's family or like these NFL guys? Who fucking was it? Oh, fuck, I forgot what it was. They were at a game. It was a game, and one of the fans was pushing the guy's mom. Like, they were pushing his mom and pushing his wife. Like, it was some wild shit. I forgot what I don't know if it was basketball, football. Fans, help me out. Shit, I wish Dub was watching because he's a fucking almanac. But like I remember this vividly. I just don't remember who it was.
Mm.
And they had to address it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was Chris Paul. It was Chris Paul. They were shoving his mom and they were shoving his wife. It was last season. This when he was in Phoenix. This when he was in fucking Phoenix. This was last season. When they were shoving his mom and his wife and he had to address that shit. That shit was crazy.
Like the fans were,
The
or
fans, it's not the fans going out of control, putting their hands on this man's wife and his fucking mom,
oh
and he
hell
had
no.
to address the situation. Yeah, like people have been going crazy lately, bro, and that's the reason why I kind of brought these examples up.
Look, fans, understand this. I understand you paid your ticket to go see spent a lot of money to go see this game and everything else like that. It's one thing to be, hooting and hollering, cheering and booing and stuff like that. When it comes to people's family, let's chill it the fuck out. I don't give a shit how much you paid for a ticket. That doesn't make it right for you to be going up and, especially, going at players, calling them the N-word or calling them, really anything. It's one thing to, jibber jabber back and forth, little like that friendly competition, shit talking and stuff like that. That's one thing. But and I've seen fans way over the top, bro. They take that shit way too seriously. And then some of them, it just, yeah, again, fans always, we can sit here and say, well, the fans bought the ticket. It's, up to the plate. Like, no, fans say some wild shit, sometimes. And a lot of these players, I got to give them credit. They do got a they got more composure than I would have had in in some of those situations. Somebody pushing my wife and stuff like that. Chris Paul, like addressing the situation, talking about it. Yeah, that's one thing. If I was Chris Paul,
Holy,
I would have gone in
yeah,
and started killing somebody. Touch my wife,
dude,
God damn it.
it would have been fuck Mouse in the Palace. That shit would have been chump change compared to the mayhem I would have created. Put your hands on my family members like that. You fucking lost your mind.
It's like it's like good thing they have composure, and that's probably why they're where they're at. They can handle a good amount of the shit that
Nah,
comes their way.
I can't say
And
that.
I mean, not that they deserve it or it should be happening, but the fact that they're dealing with it and not having it end up in a shitty way, um, again, it's commendable. It's commendable. So good for them. But I mean, again, the fighting and stuff like that in the NBA. Again, I wouldn't really necessarily call it fighting. It's just, pushing and shoving and, shouting and all that other kind of stuff. Very, very, very rarely do you see, people actually throwing fists, and people will square up like they're about to. I've seen, was that Jordan Clarkson? I've seen him do that multiple times. Has he ever swung? No. So
Oh,
it's like,
Kelly Clarkson, little brother, had a situation. I didn't know that.
yeah, no, I've seen Clarkson a few times. He's,
That makes
somebody
sense.
gets
He's
in
from
his
New
face, or
York.
like they start arguing back and forth, he'll back up like 2 or 3 steps and then square up.
Oh no, I think he would fight. If it came down to it, I think Jordan Clarkson will fight. He's from New York. You know what I mean? I think he would. In a
Oh,
real life, I think he would. I mean, I won't
yeah,
say he won't.
real life, sure. But like game time, I think that it's just because
Yeah, the
I've seen him
fines.
square up. Dude walks up to him anyway, and goes from square up to hands down, yelling at each
Oh,
other in the face or pushing him
fucking!
away.
I
So I'm
forgot
kind of
about
like,
God.
really? Like, all right, bro.
I mean, that's a different story. I mean, they find him all crazy, but I mean, it was a situation. Isaiah Simmons, if you remember that situation, the Isaiah Simmons, LeBron James situation. So if you don't remember Isaiah Simmons, he plays for the Detroit Pistons. He's the young guy with the dreads. He was trying to go at LeBron. This was like LeBron's second year. This was like the year after they won the ring. So it might have been 2021, 2022 season.
Mm,
And they were at the free throw line. And like obviously LeBron doing a little cheap shit or whatever the fuck. And he like bows him in the face. I don't think he intentionally meant to do that though. Like LeBron bows the guy in the face for sure. Like you know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like LeBron did it. But I don't think it was intentional.
mm.
But throughout the fucking midst of the game, the energy and the fucking emotions already been displayed at that point. I guess the kid had it. You know what I'm saying? Type
No.
shit. And he went at LeBron. You know what I'm saying? He's rushing LeBron. I don't think you remember that situation where the guy's running at LeBron, bleeding all on his face, trying to get to LeBron.
Yeah, like, I remember the memes and stuff like that. Talking about they should get him into the NFL as a D lineman and stuff like he's pushing through.
Yeah, bro, he went through like 5 people. Real
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Real deal. But
He's a
no,
big
yeah, that
dude
was.
too. Big
I mean,
dude.
he's
So
a 4. He's a 4 man. So it makes sense about the same size as LeBron. But that's what my point of saying that is, I mean, you have situations where guys, it's a few guys in the league. I don't want to try to throw them all under the bus. There's some guys in the league. It's enough. But the fines and the stuff that Adam Silver has in place and the things they have in place to like penalize them for doing all of that shit. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what's going on. And then everybody ain't making LeBron money. Like if LeBron fought today, like if he fought AD for being soft as fuck today, nobody will fucking give a shit because LeBron will be able to pay his fucking goddamn fees. You see what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it would
and
make
I
everything
don't
look
think they
bad. But
would suspend him. The NBA would find some way to be like, well, what did he do to LeBron?
well, I mean, shit, you saw what he did to LeBron. He over there fucking lubing up and bending over in front of every big man that's goddamn in the league. That's what he's doing.
Before we
That
get into
is
the next
crazy.
topic of the NBA, ladies and gentlemen, here's a word from our friends over at Rays.
What's up, Jaffo Army? JP here of the All-Pro JAFFOs, bringing you a message from our proud partners over at Rays Energy. Rays Energy takes a giant leap of faith with instilling a high-quality formula to bring the consumer a powerful yet sustained energetic experience to help us put your workouts and focus in general to the very next level. Perfect for anyone at any time. Rays Energy has become the most popular, the best rated energy drink on the market to date, with a phenomenal flavor profile that puts most of the competitors just downright to shame. Powered by the enhanced refresh technology, Rays Energy delivers with a performance enhancing energy drink profile that aids in the most often overlooked categories, which include targeted focus, enhanced recovery time, as glycogen becomes depleted, improve clean energy levels, boost in stamina and in hydration. Most importantly, each can of Rays has absolutely 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbohydrates to give you a smarter and healthier option. You should not have to drink or settle for any other energy drink that contains more sugar and carbohydrates than you can count. Instead, opt for the smart choice with the #1 fan voted energy drink on the planet with Rays Energy Drink. Use the promo code ALPHARAYS at checkout to get 15% off of your order. Demand more. Join the Rays Rebellion. Let them know the Jaffo sent you.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, go to repsports.com. That's REPP sports.com. And again, use the promo code ALPHARAYS to get 15% off of your order. Into the next topic real quick. Something that's been going on this last week and a half, 2 weeks, I should say, or going on 2 weeks. A pretty big situation is kind of developing in the NBA right now. Josh Giddey of the Oklahoma City Thunder is in some pretty deep water right now. Allegedly, there's talks that he's been doing things he shouldn't be doing and stuff like that with a minor. So that all in itself right there is bad enough. Yet, nothing has really happened to him. I don't think they've suspended him. They haven't stopped him from playing. Yeah, I'm sure there's still like an investigation and stuff like that going on and all this other kind of stuff, but the coverage on it is where I'm starting to find a bit of a problem. Because, you know, they covered Ja Morant for like a month straight for waving a gun, in a video. And was suspended for, was it the back half of the year, like 40-something games and all that other kind of stuff. Josh Giddey, this happens and nothing has happened. Nobody's really reporting it. Michaela Bridges' dumbass hasn't said shit about it anyway. It just
Shout out to my boy. Shout out to my boy, because I'm gonna be all the way real with you. I wasn't a fan of him when he was in Dallas. I wasn't a fan of him when he was in Baltimore. But I damn sure a fan of him now that he's retired. God damn it, motherfucking Dez Bryant. God damn it, shout out to Dez Bryant. Holy shit. Okay, never mind. Continue.
I was gonna say, go on with it. I was gonna bring that up too. Go on.
Dez Bryant is by far like one of the best retired players on Twitter, bro. Like, he really be speaking his mind. He really say what he gotta say, and that shit be on point most of the time. Hey man, he has became one of those personalities that you can kind of count on in the NFL that's gonna say the shit nobody really wants to say. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love him. I love Dez. Dez, now you good in my book. You still healthy shit. I mean, next season maybe you might well, slide down the way and see if you can get a couple snaps. I mean, you let Julio broken ass come and get snaps. You might well come down to Tampa, get a few snaps next season. Not this season, next season. Right now, there's a tornado down there. I don't know what the fuck going on. But as far as, Dez being a great personality, he's that.
When he came out and said everything, because again, and that was one of the things that people have been very critical, of NBA reporting, or just reporting in general, especially somebody like Michaela Bridges, because she's brought up shit that dudes. I remember when she brought up one of the draft guys who was just getting drafted, brought up all the problems or whatever it was that he was going through. He was never convicted, never put in jail, never, nothing ever like happened, and he was innocent of whatever it was but she had to bring it up. She had to bring it up and talk about it. She's real quick to report on the shortcomings of a lot of other athletes, let's be real, black athletes at that. But when it comes down to everything else, crickets. So it's kind of like, it is annoying, and it does bring up that same fucking conversation that you wish would fucking go away because it's exhausting. But I mean, there are certain people that just shouldn't be on the air, and I feel like Michaela Bridges is one of them. But I think she might have touched on it during she finally said something about it or whatever, but it was like a real quick, monologue, just basically overviewing the situation, and that was it. Nothing,
Yeah,
nothing else. Go
Michaela
ahead.
fucking is the reason for the mass firing at fucking ESPN. You got Jalen fired, Jalen Rose. You got a whole bunch of motherfuckers fired. I mean, I don't expect her to come out to say anything like that, because I look at Michaela, bro, as one of those, you know what I mean? Just speaking as a black man, bro, like, I got kind of low key got to go there, because that's kind of what she formed and she shaped this situation to be. You know what I mean? So I I seriously feel like Shawty, like, she like one of them, man, I ain't, my bad, bro. She a coon for sure. And it is really like, it's really evident. And you can tell, like, she the type of person that's like, I wanna only be over here in the suburbs. I want to be the only person of color in the suburbs. Literally, the only person in the color of color in my suburbs. If they're not fucking goddamn Indian descent, or like a foreign descent to America type shit, like, I'm not cool with that. That's not the neighborhood I want to be in. That's the vibe she gives me. That's the energy she gives me based on her actions and the way she reports. Like, I understand you have producers that want to talk about shit in a certain light, but you have grown your name at ESPN, so obviously you have some kind of say. You can say some things, but it's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, everybody and let's be real, people. Like, yeah, the talking heads and stuff like that. They've got topics and stuff to point out, but most of the time, I mean, they probably kind of like a WWE thing. You got to have one person who's the baby face and one person who's the heel. So like you got one person who's trying to talk everybody up, and then you got the other motherfucker who's just spitting hot takes that make no sense and stuff like that. That's how that shit normally runs. But when it comes to the opinions that a lot of these, athletes turned reporters and everything like that have, that's mostly their own. Yeah, it's a little nudge. Hey, try and go this way with it. But most of the opinions and stuff like that are their own. You can tell which ones aren't, especially by the way they're argued. Um, with the backup and everything else like that. Because again, there's got to be one. I don't know if they do, draw short straws. Who's going to be the heel today? Who's going to be the one to have the hot take that pisses everybody off today? Kind of stuff. That stuff happens. But when it comes to, like I said, the opinions and views of certain, there's, like you said, there's a reason why people got fired. People get fired. There's a reason why people don't, do certain shows and stuff like that anymore. Is because certain opinions don't necessarily follow what exactly is being done. And which, like you said, we've got producers and stuff like that who, are kind of pushing everything, having to have a narrative, but they aren't obviously telling her, hey, what you're doing is kind of tone deaf, and what you're doing is bringing a lot of problems and animosity. Tone it down. They haven't done that. So, and like you said, she was pretty much, because it's hard not to say that she wasn't part of the reason, if not one of the major reasons, why that mass firings at ESPN happened. Because a lot of the people who got fired were a lot of the people that quote unquote Michaela
She
Bridges
worked with
quote unquote had a problem with.
or worked with at one point in time.
Yeah. That whole thing that she did with with Jalen Rose, and like, oh, put your hand in my armpit. Like, he didn't mean to do that shit. Like, it's
No.
not like, and making it a whole thing and everything. And then, so Jalen Rose gets fired. And then all these other people who have opinions about Michaela Bridges get fired. So it doesn't bring a good light. It hasn't been bringing very much positive feedback and stuff like that, because I've seen on social media, and like Kay has said, it's something that it's a conversation that's exhausting, and it's obvious that it shouldn't be happening, but it is. And it's happening within the community and everything like that too, which is even more fucked up. Yeah, so it's kind of like, what what does everybody do? Do we, when it comes to Michaela Bridges, we all turn off the channel, we don't listen, we don't pay attention? That could be one thing. You take the ratings and views and stuff off of a single person, and eventually they're gonna, get filtered out, because if that's just business. If you're not bringing in the money, you're not bringing in the views, you're gonna get replaced. So I think people feeding into it is and I mean, we know Disney doesn't, give two shits about whether it's negative or positive feedback, as long as they're getting feedback, because the views and the money and all is still there, whether it's negative or positive. So it's why you would want to have somebody who does really nothing but bash black athletes all the time. And this isn't something new, people. Like, this is all the fucking time. So it's one of those, like, all right, well, and then it comes down to, is it Michaela or is it Disney? Is it ESPN? Is it them that's pushing this whole thing? Yeah. So it's, again, it's an exhausting conversation, and this whole situation, and I'm gonna say this straight up, Josh Giddey, while this whole thing is going on, needs to be bench suspended, can't attend games, can't, team practices, none of that. Keep him out of the games, because the more he plays, the worse this is going to get. Because this, and to be honest, I don't even think this is an opinion. What's going on with Josh Giddey is 10 times worse. No, infinitely times worse than Ja Morant waving a gun in a video. As dumb as it was for Ja Morant to do that,
I'll take
that's
that
not even
over.
close.
I'll take that over pedophilia for sure.
Right? You know what I mean? So it's like, and it's not like
I'm
he shot anyone or killed it. Like, not, all he did was wave a gun in an Instagram story.
I'll take Ja Morant waving a gun 7 days a week, 12 months a year, than Josh Giddey in that act one time.
Yep. 100%. 100%. So I mean,
the only thing I just wanted to add this while you was on your spiel.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen his teammates not giving the ball. Like, I haven't watched the OKC game since this came out, which I just found out about this probably like earlier this week. I mean, not earlier this week, but like last week or something. Like early last week. So I haven't watched an OKC game in about a week or so. But I ain't hearing about him not getting the ball from people. I'm not hearing like visible like distancing from the team. You know what I'm saying? So he probably lying to his teammates saying that ain't true.
Even though there's been videos and stuff popping up. I think there was one person, a fan or whatever, I guess, saw Josh Giddey in a club and realized whoever it was that he was dancing with tried to get him away. Like, so there's visual proof that this type of shit is happening. That's why it's gotten to the point where, because on this show, we've usually, when things like this happen, we have our speculations, we do our what ifs, everything else like that. But at the end of the day, it's, if you're innocent, then you're innocent. Cool. We move on. Let's go. If you're not, you're a piece of shit. And we have our right to feel how we feel and say what we say. But from what we've seen, or at least what I've seen, dude's a piece of trash and should be treated as such and taken the fuck out. Not literally, but like taken out as in like suspended, get him off the court until all of this gets resolved. Because it's not going to get any better as long as he's on the court. And as long as, the reporting and stuff like that isn't where it should be. Because again, people, let's be real. Like you got to do it fairly. If you're going to report one way on one person, you have to report the same way on the next person. That's just how it has to be. Because then it's showing the favoritism, and then in this point, it's showing that racial divide and everything. It's a shit show that shouldn't happen, but is happening on a constant fucking basis.
He ain't even American. That's the crazy shit.
Say what?
He's not even American. That's the most crazy shit about this whole situation.
Yeah, isn't he Australian?
Yeah, I'm saying, like, he easily could be deported.
Good. he could, honestly. Well, I mean, even in Australia, I think there was a cereal or something like that he was sponsored by, that they pulled their sponsorship, and everything from.
I seriously, I want his punishment to be, like, if this comes out to be true, I want him to get in the room, like, and they find out he a pedophile, I want him to be in a room with Steven Jackson, Steven Adams. Steven Adams and all 18 of his brothers. Let Australians whoop his ass. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Like, just get in a room, let him beat the dog shit out of him. Don't kill him. But 18, 19 people beating your ass at once, you're going to be close. You're going to need a hospital visit.
Yep. But before we get into the next topic, ladies and gentlemen, here is our message from our friends over at Bud Love.
What if I told you that Bud gets better? Introducing Bud Love, the long-awaited herbal blend that's designed to be mixed with your favorite bud and enjoyed together, like the mixer in a cocktail. Bud Love is made from marshmallow leaf, an ancient medicinal herb, the mother cannabinoid, CBG, and rich natural flavors, including terpenes. Offering a wide variety of premium Herbal Plus mixers to complement your favorite strains. Why? Because every bud needs some love. Our carefully formulated blends improve your experience, complementing your favorite flower and bringing out its best qualities. Many bud lovers even report that it helps reduce unwanted side effects like worry, and instead creates a happy, zen feeling. Bud Love contains no cannabis or nicotine. It won't give you a buzz on its own, but when consumed together, it reduces the amount of bud needed to get the feeling you love, allowing your precious flower to last even longer. Bud Love is best enjoyed with your first bud of the day, carefully paired with your favorite strain. Choose from a variety of delicious flavors, ranging from classic to more fruity to natural, as well as tobacco flavored for those who enjoy a spliff. Mix Bud Love and flower in whatever amounts work best for you for a perfect buzz. Whether you're chilling with friends, attending a social event, or going for a hike, experiment and find your own love ratio. Bud Love's unique blends allow you to craft a happier, smoother, and more personalized experience. If you love Bud, then Bud Love is for you. Try it today and help us tell the world that Bud does in fact get better with Bud Love.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, go to budlove.com and use the promo code JAFFO Army for 15% off of your order or your first order. So jumping into the NFL topics today. Before we get into the recap, Carolina Panthers are in some fucking turmoil. They have fired their head coach Frank Reich, which is probably a long time coming. It probably should have happened a little bit sooner. Um,
How did he get a job there?
I- um, but this whole thing has and now the reports and stuff have come out that, and even the owner, he kind of confirmed certain suspicions while kind of falling back at the same. Like, and I'm gonna paraphrase here of what he said, but there was the opportunity to get CJ Stroud. I do remember pre-draft and everything else like that. That from what I was seeing, that there were talks that the Carolina Panthers were more interested in CJ Stroud than they were Bryce Young. Um, and that's where that went, and but it all turned out in the way of Carolina getting Bryce Young, and Houston ending up with CJ Stroud. But the owner came out this morning and was kind of verifying some of the reports that came out, in the sense that they were looking at CJ Stroud as well. But he came out and said, they asked me what options we could pick, and I approved both of them. I said whichever one that and again, I'm paraphrasing, basically saying whichever one we went with, I was going to be happy with. And then at
So,
the end of the whole thing, went and said, we still believe in Bryce Young, and we're still happy with the pick that we made. Now, when he said that, and I looked at the body language and the face, I'm like, there's no way what you are saying right now is true. It is very much you're regretting your decision. But at the end of the day, look, with Bryce Young, I don't want to bag on what he's done and everything like that too much, because he hasn't had much really to work with when it comes to coaching. They gave away his best receiving option in DJ Moore, and he's got Adam Thielen and stuff like that now, but that even with everything else, Bryce Young was not necessarily set up for success. To whereas CJ Stroud going to Houston and getting, the coach, they just got the new head coach with D'Amico Ryans, who's been doing pretty good, over there's, changed the way the defense and stuff like that is getting ran.
mhm.
Um, them being what they're 6-4, I think, right now.
All right, hold on. I got it. I feel you.
6-5. Sorry.
I feel you. But in order for Bryce Young to be in Carolina, they had to trade DJ Moore. So he ain't lose DJ Moore. They had to trade him to get him. That's first. Secondly, and this goes without saying, he don't get no motherfucking slack because of his fucking organization. He get none. They went and got Adam Thielen. They went and got, you know what I'm saying, other guys. They already had a run game. The same run guys was there. Offensive line is pretty fucking bad, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
They added Miles Sanders to the mix.
They had a defense already. I'm like, that little toddler over there throwing interceptions. I don't know why he ain't getting no slack for this. He's over there throwing picks and doing all kind of shit. And again, granted, you gave him credit a few different times, but Baker first year, you was down this boy's throat. And he had the exact same situation Bryce Young in right now.
Yeah.
The exact situation.
We know the reasons behind that, though.
What do you mean?
We know the reasons why I was down more, on Baker Mayfield than I was on Bryce.
Oh yeah, the college thing. Yeah, no, I get it. It's the college thing, but I'm just saying. I'm just telling you to look at it.
I've been giving him a little bit more credit lately.
I said that. That's why I said that. But I'm also saying, at that time, you know what I'm saying, that was his situation as well. You know what I'm saying? He had
but even in his situation, he did a hell of a lot better than what Bryce is doing, even in that situation.
Yeah, because like I've been telling you, Baker's about the same height as Bryce. They said Bryce 5'9", Baker's about 5'9". And they ain't about the same height, right?
5'9". Fuck, is he 5'9"?
Pretty sure that's what they said. They said he's pretty short. They short guy.
I thought he was like 5'10",
Baker,
5'11", somewhere around there.
Bro, I be watching these shits. Baker really is short because this man be having a hard time throwing over our line sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's short, so I don't have no issue with that. But I'm just saying, the man can ball. But as far as Bryce right here, he gonna have to do something because Jit right now, he's starting to look exactly like every other Alabama quarterback, bro. That's exactly what he's looking like. And I'm gonna jump to it before you jump to it, but he looking exactly like every other Alabama quarterback. And the best one that came out thus far, but he been in a shitty situation, is Mac Jones. Mac Jones be on the Niners right now, y'all would have won the fucking Super Bowl. And that's me saying it. And I hate y'all team.
No. I would say the best Alabama quarterback or something that's come out and done actually done shit is Tua. Tua has done way more than Mac Jones has. Mac Jones hasn't done shit, actually. I hadn't done a goddamn thing in New England.
I didn't say he did. I didn't say he did.
I mean, yeah, he had, when it came to last year and everything else like that, he had a fucking defensive coordinator as his goddamn offensive coordinator. But even this year, getting a right offensive coordinator, everything, Mac Jones has not turned out to be what everyone was predicting Mac Jones was going to be.
One question before you go past this: who's his number one receiver? And your
Mac
thoughts
Jones?
of number one receiver? Yeah, right now, his number one receiver and your thoughts of his number one receiver. This is gonna help strengthen my point.
Is it Myers?
Gonna help you out? Nope.
It ain't Myers, is it?
Nope. He is in Vegas. Jacoby Myers is in Las Vegas. I'm gonna tell you, his number one receiver is Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a number 2.
That's his number one wide receiver right now in New England. His number one running back, maybe, is Ramondre.
Ramondre Stevenson, he's actually pretty decent.
They split carries between him and Zeke.
Unfortunately, Zeke hasn't done a goddamn thing. Every time Ramondre Stevenson gets the ball, that's what I'm saying. The decision making and stuff like that out there has been. So it's like I don't want to get on Mac Jones too much.
You can't really get on him. Look at this shit show he in. Jit doing the best he could.
But it's hard to make that argument. It's like, well, it's Bill Belichick. He's the head coach. There shouldn't be these problems and stuff like that. But I mean, more as the years keep going, it starts to, kind of confirm more and more of the argument that we don't know if Bill Belichick would be even considered one of the best coaches of all time had it not been for Tom Brady.
Man, everybody know it's been Tom now. Everybody don't figure that part out, especially you don't came to Tampa and brought us a ring. Like I will literally say again one more time. The last season when we had Jameis at the end of the year, and I'm like, get rid of this some bitch, because we had the show. You know what I'm saying? At that point, it was a year in. I'm like, get rid of this motherfucker. I'm done with him. He's fucking trash. Whatever quarterback we get, not named Jameis Winston, we're going to the fucking playoffs with this roster. I said playoffs. We get Brady and win the damn ring. It was clearly fucking time.
No,
We
I
had
remember that. You're like,
Jameis.
you getting anybody else, we're going to the playoffs. Then you guys got Brady, and you're like, nope, Super Bowl. Yeah, so and
That was
you
fucking
know, people have
crazy.
been making, and Warren Sapp even came out and said
But
something saying
my
like,
point,
had it not been for Lawrence Taylor, because and it brought back, I was like, oh shit, I forgot. Yeah, you had a Super Bowl as a coordinator or an assistant out there in New York under Parcells. And so Warren Sapp came out and said basically, had it not been for Lawrence Taylor and Tom Brady, Bill Belichick would be a nobody.
but that's my point though. Mac Jones hasn't had the earn the NFL to be able to flourish.
But think about it this way, though. Even when Tom was there, Tom Brady
They
only
got a whole
had
bunch of
throughout his whole
bullshit going on.
career maybe one or two receivers that were legit, like actual legit receivers. Tom Brady, like, it's not like I mean, he had Julian Edelman in the playoffs, but regular season Julian Edelman wasn't anywhere near as good as playoff Edelman. And same goes with holy shit, how did I forget his name?
Somebody Danny
Welker.
Amendola. Oh,
Wes
Wes
Welker.
Welker.
Yeah.
Oh
He
yeah.
had
Well, I
Randy
can't really
Moss.
say it.
He had Randy Moss for that record year and everything else. But everything else outside of that, yeah, he had Welker and he had
And they got
Edelman,
another one.
the slot guys, but he never had really a true one or two or anything else like that, but still made it work. And I think that's what the problem is. And this is where I think Robert Kraft is kind of starting to finally get it. And again, Warren Sapp brought it up as well. The whole Patriot Way thing, that was Tom. That was all Tom. You can't basically structure your team the same way that you did with Tom Brady and expect the same results or whatever with someone out of Mac Jones. You can't just be like, well, Bill Belichick's our head coach and Tom Brady did it all these years without, big time weapons other than his tight ends, Rob Gronkowski.
Running backs, James White. They had
James White,
Corey
yeah, some
Dillon,
good.
Deion Branch. They had guys that was like they played their role. Like as the years went on, it's like, yeah, I feel you. Like some of these guys have been like they would have been on other teams that wouldn't have been like that. I feel where you're coming from. It's just more the fact of yes, over the balance. It wasn't just the fact it was the balance. Bill's bullshit and Tom's, and that's kind of the reason why we won too, because we had BA. BA got that, and Tom created that balance. So I think that's that really like helped it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like I said, the more it kind of goes, the more, and there was a time period, especially that I was going like, yeah, but the whole comparison of who the greatest of all time and everything else like that was. But the more it kind of goes down, and you really start to kind of break it down and look at it, again, had it not been for Tom Brady, Bill Belichick would have nothing. The New England Patriots wouldn't have any Super Bowls right now. Instead of having 6, they'd have none. So it kind of makes me think, well, shit, you know, could Joe Montana have won his 4 without Bill Walsh?
I mean, they might would have had one, actually.
Yeah,
They
maybe
might would have had
one,
one.
but Bill Walsh again was an innovator.
No, I was talking about Belichick. I was just thinking about Belichick still. I
Oh,
don't really think about Bill Walsh. I'm talking about Belichick. Belichick probably had one because you remember Tom came in the Super Bowl.
Tom came in beginning of the season for that first Super Bowl. Bledsoe got hurt early.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they, when they ended up getting to the Super Bowl, why the, Rams and stuff like that were favored so high. That was the greatest show on turf at that point. And then, playing against a sixth round Michigan quarterback who nobody had heard of at that time. And then Adam Vinatieri splits the uprights and the legend of Tom Brady begins. So it's just kind of it's one of those, and then I go back to it going like, well, with Joe, when he went to Kansas City, he was still winning, going to, he didn't win the Super Bowl or anything else like that, but he's still winning, went to the playoffs, actually beat the Niners and stuff like that during his tenure there at Kansas City. But would he have won those 4 Super Bowls without Bill Walsh? And I don't know if that's the case. So it's like, when it comes to coaching, who the greatest coach and stuff like that of all time is, I still got Bill Walsh at the top. That's just me. And I guess you can say that's a 40 or like 49er bias or something like that. But for me, looking at the whole picture of who some of the greatest coaches throughout the history of the NFL were, you can't necessarily, or at least now in this, like, you can't necessarily look at how many rings they have and think it was because of them. So now it's like when I'm debating who is the best coach of all time, you got to look at what, was done, and was it done because of them or was it done in spite of them? Vince Lombardi, top 3 coaches of all time. Changed the game, the way they ran the fucking sweep, like the seal here and the seal here and go right up like just, and then winning Super Bowl 1 and 2. Without Vince Lombardi, the mind of Vince Lombardi, the Packers don't go to those Super Bowls. Bart Starr doesn't become a Green Bay legend. That doesn't happen without Vince Lombardi. 49ers Super Bowls. Does it happen without Bill Walsh? I don't think so. Because the way he ran the West Coast offense and everything that he ran, nobody was ready for it at that time. And then Bill Parcells. Is he one of the better coaches of all time? I would say so, because I don't know if the Giants would have won those Super Bowls without Bill Parcells. They had fucking Phil Simms as their quarterback. Yeah, I don't know if they would have won it without Parcells. So there's these arguments now going around, at least for me, when they're talking about like who the best coaches are, that I think. Now, can we sit here and say that oh Lord, see, I can't even remember his name. That should explain it all there. When the Baltimore Ravens won their Super Bowl in 2000 with Trent Dilfer, who was their head coach at that time? Wasn't Harbaugh. So it's like, and it's one of those things that head coach is obviously forgettable because that defense was unforgettable, and they were the reason why they won, that Super Bowl. But it goes to those type of arguments. So Belichick, I don't know if I can hold him up there anymore. They say, oh, you can't bet against Belichick. Bullshit. I think I can now. Especially since 12 isn't on the team anymore. But before we get into the score recaps from what happened on Thanksgiving, Friday, and Sunday, let's get a quick message from our friends over at Popple.
Is your team still buying paper business cards? It's time to modernize with Popple Teams. Manage your team's digital business cards individually or in bulk. Instantly add or remove members. Capture team-wide leads using a Popple QR code or Popple device. Then export to your CRM. Understand your team's performance and uncover new insights. Let them know how they're doing with instant push notifications. Over 100 new leads today. Great job, everyone. Upgrade now with Popple Teams. Start your free trial today.
And yes, go to popple.co and use the promo code PVPFamily for 20% off of your order. Going into the recap, starting on Thanksgiving, the usual suspects, the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, went at it, and the Green Bay pulling off the victory 29-12. Jordan Love had his career high with 3 touchdown passes. Jared Goff had 332 and 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery had 71 yards on the ground and a touchdown. To Montserrat Brown leading all receivers with 95 yards and 9 receptions. Packers pulling one. Yeah, it's I mean, it's not going to help them win the division, but it keeps the division open in the North at least for a little bit longer. Because I think if the Lions were to have ended up winning this game, it was only a matter of time before the division was under their belts. But it only extended that time, so we'll see how that goes. But 29-22, Packers over the Lions. Also the Cowboys facing the Commanders 45-10. Once again, the Cowboys can beat crap teams, but can't beat good teams. And until that changes, I will never give the Cowboys any sort of credit for any sort of anything. 49ers taking on the Seahawks, back to the winning ways, because again, when healthy, we are very hard to beat. When we're not healthy, that's a different story. Our secondary was still kind of getting torched throughout the whole thing, and that to me, uh God, we need some fucking help in the secondary. But nonetheless, 31-13, and people are gonna be like, well, you won 31-13. How the hell is the secondary the problem? You forgot we have the best defensive line in all of football. So then you go to Friday, 34-13, Dolphins over the Jets. God, it must be hard to be a Jets fan this year. Hill had 1 touchdown catch. Holland, the corner, had a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown for the Dolphins. Tua going for 243, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Raheem Mostert leading the team with 94 yards, 20 carries, and 2 touchdowns. And Waddle actually leading receiving for the Miami Dolphins with 114 yards and on 8 receptions. Heading into the Sunday grouping, the Falcons taking on the Saints. Falcons keeping their NFC South division hopes alive, putting them to 5-6 on the year, while the Saints dropped to 5-6. 24-15, ugly game, but it was done nonetheless. Derek Carr is who we thought they were. Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Steelers taking on the Bengals. This kind of intrigued me a little bit because the Steelers, winning, even though winning 16-10, it was really close against a backup quarterback. So, Steelers might be, and again, I've can the Steelers might be the worst 7-4 team in the NFL right now. But nonetheless, they keep winning. Mike Tomlin is that type of coach. No matter what he has, he always brings the best out of all of his players. Steelers once again moving to 7-4, keeping their AFC North division title hopes alive as well. Panthers taking on the Titans. Titans taking 17-10 win, improving to 4-7, while the Panthers dropped to 1-10. Derrick Henry 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. Really not much in that game. That game was, the leading passer was Bryce Young, and he had 194. So that should tell you everything you need to know about what's going on in Carolina and that whole situation there. Once again, I think the owner is kind of full of shit when he says they're content with what they have. They gave their draft pick away, so now the Bears, have their number 1 pick. So if I I was the Panthers, I would try to at least win a few more games before you just basically hand the number 1 pick off to Chicago, but it is what it is there. Colts taking on Country K's beloved Buccaneers, and winning 27-20, improving to 6-5, while the Bucks fall to 4-7, still in the hunt for that NFC South division title, because we know it's probably the worst division in football. Gardner Minshew had 251 yards through the air, 1 interception. Rashad White, 15 carries on 100 yards, leading the way in rushing. Michael Pittman Jr. had himself a game, 10 receptions, 107 yards. In a Colts win, a hard-fought win for the Colts, something that they have been looking for. They just basically they just got rid of Shaq Leonard, which was a shock to a lot of people. But even with that, still coming out with the win, good for the Colts. The New York Giants, the New England Patriots, in another barn-burning shit show of a game. 10-7, the Giants over the Patriots. Patriots fall to 2-9. This is the worst 11-game span in Bill Belichick's tenure as the head coach there in New England. The Giants, who have been shit all year, and it's got to suck because it's not very often that Bill Belichick loses to backup quarterbacks, and this was one of those times. DeVito, 191 with a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson leading the game in rushing with 21 carries on 98 yards and a touchdown. Hyatt leading receptions for the New York Giants, 5 receptions for 109 yards. Down to the next one, the Jacksonville Jaguars eked it out barely against the Texans, who have been balling so far this year. They are doing a whole hell of a lot better than a lot of people thought they were going to do. Even with the addition of CJ Stroud, people were still thinking that there's still a little bit more rebuilding to do, and there is. There's still a little bit more building to happen for that team down there in Houston. But they're showing a lot of life, and they are showing that they are going to be a good team in the foreseeable future. But nonetheless, dropping to 6-5, 4-2 at home, where the Jaguars improved to 8-3 and are 5-0 on the road. That's how you become a good team, when you win on the road. If you can win at home, cool. But if you can win on the road, that's even better. They obviously have 3 losses at home, so they might want to play away games a little more often. So we'll see how that goes. Trevor Lawrence, 364, a touchdown and an interception. Travis Etienne with 20 carries. 20 carries, 56 yards. That led the game. Damn, that's Nico Collins, 7 receptions on 104 yards and a touchdown for the Houston Texans. In that loss, again, the Jaguars improved to 8-3 and are still leading the AFC South over their division rival, the Texans. The Broncos versus the Browns. 29-12, Broncos on a 5-game winning streak, which is the longest active streak currently in the NFL right now. They have definitely gotten a whole hell of a lot better from the start of the season. We all remember how abysmal the Broncos were. Yeah, he did have him in he did have him in a chokehold Safeway. But the Broncos again, trying to keep their wild card hopes alive by this win against the Browns, improving to 6-5, while the Browns dropped to 7-4. Russell Wilson leading the day in passing with 134 yards and a touchdown. Javonte Williams, 18 carries on 65 yards. Cortland Sutton leading the game with 3 receptions for 61 yards. Was not a great game to watch by any means, but nonetheless, the Broncos get the victory on that one. The LA Rams taking on the Arizona Cardinals, 37-14. Kyler Murray's first game back, 256 and a touchdown. But in the losing effort, Marquise Brown led led the game with 6 receptions and 88 yards. Ugh. Williams, the running back for the LA Rams, led in rushing with 15 carries and 143 yards on the ground. Couldn't get him a touchdown, huh? Even after all that 37. But the Rams improved to 5-6, 3-3 on the road. The Cardinals dropped to 2-10, being 2-4 at home. The Chiefs took on the Raiders. The Raiders thought they were doing everything that they possibly could to get a win in this game. They were looking pretty good in the first half, and then the Chiefs just decided to wake up and had 17 or 21 unanswered points at one point. The Raiders were winning 14-0 at one point, and then it just was all downhill from there. Only had a field goal in the second half where the Chiefs just continued to roll. So 31-17, Raiders dropping to 5-7, where the Chiefs improved to 8-3, being 4-1 on the road. Patrick Mahomes, 298 and 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs having himself a day, 20 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown. One of those being a 64-yarder, or a 64-yard touchdown. Rashid Rice, the rookie, leading the Kansas City Chiefs, 8 receptions, 107 yards, and a touchdown. Kansas City holding on firmly to that AFC West division. Raiders looking to stay alive and hopefully figure out a wild card spot with just, I believe, 6 or 5 games to go. Bills taking on the Eagles, and this was actually a pretty decent game.
Hold on, they cut my dog this morning.
Say what?
They cut my dog the Raiders cut Marcus Peters this morning.
Oh shit, that's right, they did. I remember they were talking about that. They pulled the trigger this morning? Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
about like an hour or two before the show.
I'm not gonna lie. What was Marcus Peters doing that,
him and AP got into it on the field during him getting benched?
Yep,
that was the reason.
That'll do it right there. And you can't trade them because they're past the deadline. So, damn. Well, secondary suffers for the Raiders, and they might just be calling it at this point in time now, considering they're fight for a new head coach and all. Unless they're gonna keep Antonio Pierce, which I don't think they should. The players have responded pretty well to him, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's not like the Raiders haven't done that before. They had, one interim head coach that the team was, vibing around and doing well and stuff, but they still went with somebody else. So we'll see what ends up happening down the road for them. But the Eagles, Bills, going into overtime, Eagles taking it 37-34, ending on a Jalen Hurts touchdown there in overtime. It was a good back and forth game, but it's another one that the Bills just could not finish. Josh Allen had 339, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Josh Allen also led the game in rushing with 9 carries, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he had 4 touchdowns total, 2 through the air, 2 through on the ground. Devontae Smith leading everybody in receiving with 7 receptions, 106 yards, and a touchdown. Eagles improving to 10-1. Going into next week against the 49ers, where the Bills drop to 500 at 6-6, 1-4 away. The Bills are facing a lot of shit because next year they're looking at a negative salary cap. They're next year their salary cap is literally going to be negative 26 million. So whatever window that they were hoping to make the playoffs, go to the Super Bowl, whatever, is closing fast if it was ever open to begin with. Because again, the Bills have, shown that they can be good, but something about that Buffalo Bills uniform when it comes to the playoffs, man, just can't get it done. Just can't get it done. So again, Eagles 37-34.
I think the Bills isn't the problem. I think it's Josh Allen.
Oh. It might be too. He might be. I don't know if it might be. I think he is pretty overhyped. The amount of interception this guy has thrown and stuff like that. It must be the intangibles and the fact that he can throw the ball a mile that nobody's really reporting on that. But Josh Allen does kind of seem to be the root of the problem there in Buffalo.
I seriously think it's because he jumps over people and he runs people out, like run linebackers over. I think that's what gave him that allure. And then now you got Stephon Diggs there, and then Diggs will catch the ball every once in a while until the playoff shows up. Then he gone too. He Casper. He one of Casper brothers. I don't know which one of them Casper, and then the other, which one of them the uncle. I mean, but they both ghosts. Now, all I'm saying is they both ghosts. You see what I'm saying? So, but I seriously think I think it's Josh. But go ahead.
You think they'll ever move on from him?
No. There's gonna be a situation where they trying to hope, because I'm telling you, he's Aaron Rodgers without the defense, like without getting lucked up and ended up at a franchise like the Packers where they had like necessary shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Aaron got there. I don't mean, but they already had shit there in place. They already had a thing in place where they have a name and an image and a standard.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where Aaron kind of lucked up, because if he would have went into a worse situation, Aaron Rodgers would have been Josh Rosen.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really who he could have been. Because Aaron Rodgers is an amazing quarterback. Yeah, I get it. He can throw the ball, but you put any great quarterback in a very bad situation, they're going to be sorry as shit. That's just what all to it. They're going to be trash. And Josh Allen ain't in a bad situation, and he's still doing terrible. So what does that tell you? He came from a situation where he wasn't in a Power 5 situation. Fucker went to Wyoming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what do you really expect? When you give those other guys the same stigma and you talk down on them because of the schools they went to, you know what I'm saying? Not you, but the universal you. Right. Like when they do that kind of shit, it's like, well, then how do you not have that same energy for guys that you like? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, like a Josh Allen. Yes, he's talented, but he didn't go to a good school to where his talent would have been able to actually flourish. It's like, yeah, his talent's amazing. He came to the NFL and he's done a lot of good things. Mostly throw picks for the defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's mostly throwing picks for the defense and got a lot of defensive highlights. Yeah. So my point of saying is, like, well, the point you miss, what I said was, why do they not give the same stigma, this big school, small school stigma to guys that they like? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand that whole situation. You know? So it's like, for like a guy like even right now, like what's my boy Aaron Rodgers' backup, Zach Wilson, my boy Zach Morrison. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm telling you, they talk down. Like, every time you hear them talk shit about him, they always talk about how he went BYU and it was the draft thing and the one pass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, dude, I'm telling you, it's not just you. It's like, that's how people talk about the guy. It's like, it's
Corey talk about it like that all the time.
Say it again.
So we hear Corey talking about it like that all the time.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, why do the guys like that don't get the same fucking thrashing? Like Pat Mahomes coming out of Texas Tech. Texas Tech wasn't known for good quarterbacks like that. Graham Harrell. I'm sorry, I said it wrong. Graham Harrell. That was all they had. Like, before that, I ain't known Texas Tech to have shit before Graham Harrell.
I also think
from fucking Texas.
Who? What?
I said, and you're from fucking Texas, and you can't even figure it out.
Well, I don't pay attention to Texas Tech like that, so I don't really
Yeah, but you know if
give a shit.
another school in your state has a good player.
Yeah, and they haven't, so that's why it's like
I mean, Pat Mahomes
you
went
know
under
what
y'all
they have
list,
with
but that's
Patrick
neither here nor
Mahomes is
there.
a once in a lifetime thing for that school. You know, they might not have
Yeah.
another one for another generation, so we'll see. But I think it also some of the backlash has to do with draft positioning. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when you're getting drafted, you know, top 5, top 10, or either the top 2 or whatever, there's certain expectations, um, regardless of what school you come from. So I think that's where it's kind with Josh. I mean, I don't know where Josh Allen was. I think was he.
Bro, I'm telling you, he wasn't high enough for that kind of shit.
Yeah, he wasn't top 10. He wasn't top 10. He might have been 11 or something like that, 11 or 12, somewhere around there.
Josh Allen, son of a B word. I pulled his name up, and normally they'll show you like how.
Where he was drafted and everything.
Right. Oh, the 7th. He was the 7th pick in
7th pick.
2018.
Okay.
Right.
7th pick, and then still people still to this day, you know, especially guys like Max Kellerman saying that Josh Allen was sent from the future to beat Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that. But we've yet to see that. You know, Josh Allen has, you know, again, athletically and intangibles and stuff like that, like he's a pretty good, you know, player. It's just the decision making has been just horrendous. Leading
You know,
everyone in the NFL since he came into the league in interceptions by a wide margin. Like it ain't even
yeah.
close. Like it's a big margin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's over 60. Over 60 interceptions since 2018.
Yeah.
Like that's a problem, people. That is a fucking major problem. So we'll see
Yeah.
what the Bill.
And
We'll
it
see what the
surprised the
Bills
shit
end up
out of me
doing.
because I'm like, how the fuck you beat Jameis? Jameis had a 3-year head start on you, guy. How you come back and just surpass Jameis? Jameis literally had 30 fucking picks in the season. How the fuck do you surpass the guy like that? Holy fuck. You dumping them bitches off, dude. He had a 3-year head start, and he didn't had a legendary interception season, and Josh Allen has still got him. That's fucking crazy.
That should tell you.
That's literally the only positive I can give for Jameis Winston. There's a guy that threw more picks than you.
At least there's one guy who did.
We know that's a big name. Like, that's it.
Oh, Lord. Then the Raven for Sunday Night Football. This one was actually not like a terrible game to start out. The ending kind of got a little wonky there, but I mean it wasn't a horrible game. Ravens taking on the Chargers. Ravens winning 20-10, staying 9-3, holding firm on that AFC North Division right now. Justin Herbert leading the way for them, or for passing, I should say, with 217, a touchdown and an interception. Hey, wake up, dog! I don't need you snoring on the show. Come on. Mitchell leading for Baltimore in the running game with 9 carries, 64 yards. Keenan Allen actually having a pretty decent day in the receptions department. 100 or not 100, 14 receptions, 106 yards, no touchdowns. Dump off type of guy. I think that's what that was. But the Chargers falling down to 4-7, 2-4 at home. Their playoff hopes virtually, I think, are done. At this point, they may have a shot depending on how things fall, but it looks like the Chargers are kind of where they were. They have a quarterback that can, you know, kind of like Phillip Rivers, you put up all the stats and stuff like that during the season and stuff, but you're not. You remember that one year where the Chargers led the league in offense and defense and still didn't make the playoffs? You remember that year with
Say it one
Phillip
more time.
Rivers? I know that's hard to believe, but
Hold on. The
when
Chargers.
Phillip Rivers was with the then San Diego Chargers, there was a year, I forget which one. I think it was, I want to say it was either 15 or 16. It was a year the Chargers were like, everyone was talking about the Chargers like, oh, this might be the year their Super Bowl window and stuff like that. Like, Phillip Rivers can finally get one, this, and that. The Chargers were good. They led the league in offense and defense. They were number one in both. Still didn't make playoffs. I don't know what the fuck that was. Did you see that?
No.
See the balloons
What
pop
happened?
up?
Balloons? You had balloons pop up? It's your birthday, guy?
It's not, but I just saw balloons pop up on my screen. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from?
Somebody sent you balloons.
Said
It's
that,
happy
no?
something. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys got married in August. So I know
Yeah.
that.
Ain't that?
You didn't say
Not
nothing about your
birthday.
wife's birthday.
Well, she's in February.
Yeah, the
I
dog.
don't know where the fuck that came from, but hey, cool.
The dog's birthday?
Nope. His is in February too.
The cat?
Why is everybody in February? Fuck, even the cats are in February. Goddamn.
And when is your birthday?
I'm the oddball, apparently. I'm December.
That's what I'm saying. Like, holy shit.
God damn.
If it's ever a fucking Hunger Games by months, you're out of there, guy. You gonna
Well,
be
yeah,
paying
man,
tribute.
I forget what year that was, but I mean, they had Antonio Gates and everybody there. They were the number one offense, number one defense, still didn't make the playoffs. So wild stat to see. But yeah, that's just been the moniker of the Chargers. Like they're that's at times they can be exciting to watch and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's just they're not getting it done. And I honestly think like Justin Herbert is essentially Phillip Rivers 2.0, just a little bit faster than Phillip Rivers. Like that's all it
Sorry, I
is.
finally got the fucking notification of the goddamn show. First time in a long goddamn time on Facebook.
Oh. Sure.
Yeah, that's what it just popped up. Yeah.
And then the Monday night game, I didn't even watch this. I saw the highlights and I'm like, I'm glad I didn't watch it. 12-10, Bears over the Vikings. Yeah, that's all you really have to say about it. Justin Fields, 217, through the air, 12 carries, and Justin Fields once again is the entire offense for the fucking Bears. But out of that 217, 114 of them went to DJ Moore on 11 receptions. Yeah, ugly game. I thought Josh Dobbs was gonna, pull this one out, but Bears equaling away 12-10. Vikings fall to 6-6 with the Bears. I don't know if you can call this an improvement, but they improved to 4-8, on the season. Still holding the number one overall pick. But yeah, that's the recap of Thanksgiving weekend and week 12 of the NFL season. Real quick, wanted to go make a quick prediction for the Thursday night game this week. Thursday night football, the Cowboys versus the Seahawks in Arlington. They have the line at Dallas -9.5 with the over-under being 46.5. Kay, this is not a game I expect you to really give too much of a shit about, but who would be your pick?
I'm sorry, I just read something kind of major. What was the game you was mentioning right now? Thursday night game.
Seahawks.
Cowboys Seahawks. Yeah, we already know the Cowboys finna win that game quickly. Like they finna beat them boys. Because Kenneth Walker might be still out. I got him in another fantasy group. He was out last week.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I thought he played this week.
He didn't. Out. I had to sit him on the bench. I was mad as fuck. I still won though. Still won. I was so fucking nervous.
I'm gonna pick the Seahawks with this one because I think the Seahawks are even at 6-5. they're a little better than who the Cowboys have beaten. So even though they're sitting at 6-5, I think the Cowboys still might have a little bit of a struggle with them. Even though Cowboys 5-0 at home, Seahawks are 2-3 on the road. But again, I hate
I'm
Dallas.
telling you.
And
telling you.
I hate Dallas even more than I hate a division rival. So it is what it is. Seahawks, in my opinion, will take that one. We know Mad Sticks will probably go with the Cowboys in that spot.
Them boys hobbled.
Yeah. Dubs,
The boys
have a
hobbled.
great show. Appreciate it. Last night's Monday night game, snoozer. Yep.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely.
We definitely needed your opinion. We definitely needed your opinion earlier, Dub. We need a historian on that query we had earlier in the show, but hey, whatever.
All good. So, with that, we'll come back to you guys on Friday evening, with the Sunday lineup and everything else that comes into play, with all of that. Kay, any updates before we let the people go?
Yeah, so December 16th, if you guys are in the area, our team, gotta get my man out there on Saturday so we can completely not sound like we're almost lying, because we're almost lying. We're almost lying now, Josh. Yeah, y'all just need to let you know that we're almost lying.
We're not. It's more stretching the truth.
That's why I said almost lying. Oh, we're almost lying. But if he comes out this Saturday, we get him out there Saturday. He gets on these motherfucking, because every single person had to hit them motherfucking sleds this goddamn Saturday. I'm telling you, they had us on stations, rotations. It was a shitload of conditioning this past Saturday. But so we definitely gonna condition again this Saturday, because they said it. They already let us know. The motherfuckers trying to kill us before this game. Which I don't mind. I don't mind it.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, fuckers was throwing up. Fuckers was throwing up for sure. I was dying laughing, because that's another story. But yeah, so on December 16th, I think it's the IE Blackhawks. They come up to play our River City Tigers at River City High School, at 1 Raider Lane. I think that's our fucking address. In West Sacramento. That is 6:00 game on December 16th. So if you guys are in Sacramento or in the Sacramento greater area, you want something to do, you want to check out a game, you can come check out a preseason game between two teams that's ranked in the California semi-pro rankings. That don't mean too much to some people, but I mean, it's something for some people that's giving time to a game they love, So, so just, check us out.
Come catch the Jaffos on the field, people. This is going to be probably the only year you're going to see it. So
No, this is definitely the only year you're going to see it.
Yeah, so get out there, support not just the team, not just us, but what they got going on. And I just wanted to side note that real quick. Shout out to everybody there. River City Tiger, Coach Derek and everything like that. They just had
hold on. 30, give me a 30, Josh. So I'm gonna show you this and I'll hide it.
He does Yep. Gotta get him down there.
Definitely.
Gotta get him down there. But yeah, shout out to the team and everything like that.
If he wants to, because like I said, he can film for the show. He don't even have to film the game. He can film like other shit for the shit that I'm doing on my own, like with the team. So if Mizzle wants to do that for me, that'd be great. Just different little moments.
Yeah, we'll talk to him, definitely.
We'll get it. Like if he shows up, he won't even have to. Like we'll pay for him to get in. If he wants to, well, I'll pay for him to get in. If he wants to come for real.
Hell yeah, we'll get it. Dub says he's more likely.
He'll be at the. Dub say he'll be at the.
I was just gonna touch on that. The A7FL having their fall brawl coming up real soon. That's gonna be awesome to be able to watch and be able to cover more of the A7FL and stuff like that we love to do. But back to what I was saying. Shout out to River City Tigers coach Derek and everybody involved. Had a food drive for those in need for Thanksgiving and everything else like that. Everything, all the goals and stuff were hit.
Thank you. You
Got to
just
be out
reminded me.
there, talk to a lot of the team and stuff like that, getting to know everybody. So that was cool. Everyone was out there, raining, windy, didn't matter. Everybody was out there, helping out, having a good time. So me just kind of seeing that told me a lot about the team, and it makes me even more excited to be a part of it. So shout out to everybody and stuff for that food drive. I
Thank
am.
you for bringing it up. We're having a toy drive.
Oh, we're having a toy drive for Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fuck
We're
yeah! We'll
helping
get
we're
the
helping
flyers out and
20
everything for that.
families again. Yeah,
Hell yeah!
Manny did the live yesterday. So we haven't, or 2 days ago. They're helping 20 families and they're collecting toys and clothes. So if you guys have things like unopened stuff that your kids don't have, you can, shout out to us, you know what I mean, and we'll pass along the information. Or if you want to send to us, we'll give it to them because obviously we're part of the team. So yeah, let us know. So yeah, go Tigers.
Tigers. So let's see, what else do we got? Mad
Oh,
Sticks.
the fall brawl? You mentioned the fall brawl really quickly before you
Yeah,
moved to
yeah.
Mastic.
The
At some point, we got to
A7FL
try to check that out, man.
to get down there.
Yeah, we got to check that out.
You know
Got to
what?
check that out because
There's some
they
things
end
that
in
are
February.
happening. There's some things that are happening these next few weeks. We may be able to make that happen. Actually, we'll see how that. I don't want to guarantee it, but we'll definitely be watching, whether we're there or whether we're back at home and stuff. We'll definitely be watching because A7, those are our guys out there. But yeah, no, I was thinking about that too, going, it'd be cool to get down there, for the fall brawl to kind of see how all that stuff goes, all the new teams, everything else that's going on. The A7FL people, that shit's growing. And if you're not on board, start to get with it. Let's go. They had the best championship game I've ever seen. A lot of people have ever seen. The back and forth and everything, the physicality of the game. But it's safer to play, even though no pads, no helmets, everything else like that seems like it's going to be a problem. But it's been safer. It's a fun game to watch. Everybody that's involved has been absolutely welcoming and awesome with us since the very beginning. And Dub getting to do play-by-play for the fall brawl this year, so that's going to be good.
Right.
Catch that. You'll hear Dub.
Right.
I think maybe the Viking might be making some sort of an appearance there, and
I think he's doing this Corey thing.
being on the field and then coming up. Yep.
I
Actually,
think
I
so,
don't think
but
so. I
Dub
think
has
he
to
got hurt
confirm
again.
that. Dub, you got to confirm that one.
Is Viking going to
Yeah,
be announcing Dub, or is he going to be on the field? I thought I heard somewhere that he got hurt. But I don't know how long he's going to be on the shelf or whatever for that. But nonetheless, having the Viking on the color commentary and everything is always pretty fun to watch as well. If you don't know the Viking people, my goodness gracious, you need to. Um, so Fall Brawl's coming up. Check that out. River City Tiger season, preseason, all that stuff. Check that out. Let's see what else. Mad
Oh, the
Sticks.
Viking towards meniscus, he's gonna need surgery. So
Damn.
yeah,
Okay.
Scott's in the booth.
I
God,
thought
dog
so.
it.
Yeah. But in the booth, at least we can hear him. At least he's still there being a part of it. So I'm glad to hear that. And
Man, prayers for the
hopefully
recovery, brother.
yeah, speedy recovery, sir. Hopefully you can get out on the field a lot quicker. Meniscus, it better than an ACL. So
Bro,
that's
fuck.
recovery
I
time
couldn't
and
tell you.
everything.
I couldn't tell you. I got them both at the same time. I got hit with a shotgun shell. Boom, boom.
Here's to a speedy recovery for the Viking, so he can get back on the field and do the thing that I know that he loves to do. Mad Sticks having a show December 15th.
Ooh.
God damn it, I need to get more about that information, but he just sent the flyer.
I gotta stay out there. I gotta stay the night out there. Thank you for reminding me of this show because I completely fucking forgot, dude.
So the fifth, that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a busy weekend that weekend. The 15th, Mad Sticks' show, which
I mean, I'm not
he's
drinking at
presenting.
all.
It said presented by DJ Matchstick. So I was like, oh shit, okay, he's running the show.
Yeah, I got it right here. It's the Salvatore's year-end blowout, starring Gatlin, Black Jess, James. I need to say that again. Black Jess James. You got performances by It's Maney, Blolo, Witty, Ray Starr, Slim Collins, J Moon, Lots, J Mob, King Hitter, and Young Dap, and Too Easy. You got a bunch of other invited guests. Not gonna say all that. Massix is presenting, and it's hosted by Stewie Bro and Filmo Mike of Cameo.
Of KMEL. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Stewie Bro. Yeah. Stewie Bro of Bass Town Music, and then Filmo Mike of Cameo. Yeah.
Oh yeah. There we go. Get out
And
there.
that
That's
is
gonna be a
on the
hell of a
Y
weekend,
Sacramento.
people. You want to have a fun weekend, get down here the weekend of the 15th and 16th of December. On 15th, you get a good show to vibe to. And we know if Mad Six is on the ones and twos, you're going to have a damn good time. And then the day after, catching a football game with the All-Pro JAFFOs, my God, what could be any better? But we appreciate the hell out of every single one of you guys for hanging out with us this morning. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe out there. We love you. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys on Friday evening. For myself, JP, for the 610 Beast from the Southeast, Mr. Country K. We'll see y'all next time, douches.